SONOSTICS, eliminating age-related cognitive decline. Early intervention prevents progression of cognitive impairment. Our mission is to ensure that all older adults have sufficient cardiac output to maintain brain, blood, and high levels of cognitive performance throughout life. The soleus muscles are your second hearts. They pump blood pooled in lower extremities back to your heart. Your second heart is very similar to a peristaltic pump, whereby your muscles in the calf squeeze the blood in the veins back towards the heart. Soleus muscle insufficiency. Disuse in age reduces soleus muscle pumping capability. Without adequate fluid return, the heart cannot pump enough blood, resulting in low blood pressure. The brain is then starved of nutrients and oxygen, leading to cognitive impairment. Research shows that brain function drops significantly when diastolic blood pressure is less than 80 milligrams. That leads to cognitive impairment. 80% of adults over 60 years of age have a resting diastolic blood pressure, known as DBP, below 80 milligrams. Huge market of 55 million Americans. Now, exercise is good, but most can't or won't. Signs and symptoms of insufficient soleus muscle activity. Chronic low resting blood pressure, reduced cerebral blood flow, and noticeable cognitive decline. Lower limb edema, leg cramps, joint pain, lower body bone loss, reduced blood flow to peripheral tissues leading to neuropathy. Blood pooling in lower limb veins, spider and varicose veins, deep vein thrombosis, and leg staining. Reduced resting metabolic rate. Chronic fatigue syndrome, cold hands and feet, inability to maintain normal body weight. Market facts. 65 million people in the United States are covered by Medicare. 85% of those 65 million, or 55 million, over the age of 65 have chronic low blood pressure. Low blood pressure predicts age-related cognitive decline. 80% of 65 million people, or 52 million, over the age of 65 with cognitive impairment. Total addressable market exceeds 50 million with low blood pressure and cognitive impairment. Proof of concept. Heart Partner introduced in 2018 to support clinical trials. Vibrational stimulation of plantar nerve endings in the sole of the foot initiates soleus contraction. 500 were sold at retail price of $800, which was $400,000 of revenue. 50% of the purchases addressed issues of fluid pooling, such as varicose veins, nighttime leg cramps, swollen feet, ankles, and legs. 50% were bought to address issues of low cardiac output, cognitive aging, chronic fatigue, and low metabolism. Increased cardiac output improves cognitive function. Randomized clinical trials showed that low blood pressure elderly required twice as long to complete the executive function test than normal blood pressure controls. After using the Heart Partner for 14 weeks, cognitive performance of the intervention group matched that of the control group. And the research was done by Ken McLeod and Stromhog. Clinical Interventions in Aging, a peer-reviewed publication. Next Generation Heart Partner, M. Proof of concept Class 1 device was medically effective, but noise level, weight, size, and limited IP protection were issues. Class 1 device was not reimbursable by Medicare. Large ad budgets were needed in marketing to consumers. Market became increasingly competitive with narrowing margins. Next generation Class 2 device, branded as Heart Partner M. SONOSTICS developed magnetic neuromodulation technology, 3 times more effective in activating soleus muscle. Class 2 needs an FDA 513F certification, which will allow 80% reimbursement by Medicare. Sales rely on recommendations from primary care physicians. Heart Partner M, magnetic neuromodulation technology. The patient places 4 feet on the device. Magnetic neuromodulation activates the plantar nerves, which periodically contract the soleus muscles. Fluid flow to the heart is enhanced, increases cardiac output, normalizes blood pressure, and improves cerebral blood flow. That's the Heart Partner right there. There's no irritation or immobility during the use of this device. Marketing focus for Heart Partner M. We market to the 230,000 U.S. primary care physicians, known as PCPs, who have on average 280 Medicare patients. PCPs recommend Heart Partner to patients with cognitive impairment. Additional medical professionals who could be interested would include nurse practitioners, about 300,000 in the United States, neurologists, about 14,000, and psychologists, 100,000. Medicare reimbursement strategy. Heart Partner M is our second-generation product. Obtain FDA 513F clearance for the low-risk Class 2 device. Register Heart Partner M as durable medical equipment with Medicare. Obtain CMS supply store certification to handle distribution. Priced at $800, Medicare covers 80% and patient 20%. Physician must confirm that Heart Partner is a medical necessity. CMS reimburses physician $266 for full cognitive assessment. SONOSTICS handles all interactions with physician and CMS. Competitive analysis. Now don't be fooled by the $49 circulation enhancers and muscle stimulators that are available on Amazon and other online stores that provide only localized effects. So there's sequential pneumatic compression. It's $400 to $1,200 for the device. Durable medical equipment enhances venous return, but an immobilized individual can't be used if leg wounds are present. The graduated compression stockings between $40 and $300 a pair. Slows blood pooling, but sustained compression reduces arterial flow. Difficult to use for most older individuals and not reimbursable. Then you have the Revitive foot muscle stimulator for approximately $350. Not a passive device in that the user must rock their feet to activate soleus muscles, and it is not reimbursable. Now we have a simple management structure. I'm not going to bother to read all the components, but basically we have a board, an advisory board, and then we have 5 components which answer to the president. Those components being sales and marketing, finance, operations, Medicare, CMS, and research and development. Here's the mainly entire operational structure. Again, we have lots of different kinds of people, but these are all going to be hires. We only have a few people right now. I'll be the CFO, Chief Operating Officer could be Glenn Hines. We still need to get a Director of CMS, Director of R&D, of course, is Ken McLeod, and we still need a VP of Marketing and Sales. Any suggestions to fill out these key ranks would be welcome. So here's the board of directors and advisors. You have Ken McLeod, he's the founder. I'm going to let you read all of this stuff, but he's this very smart individual. Received his PhD degree in electrical engineering from MIT and is taught on the faculty of MIT, Tufts, Stony Brook, and Binghamton University. He's the holder of 25 patents in healthcare field. Prior to taking the lead at SONOSTICS, Dr. McLeod served as a founder and advisor for several medical device companies, including Applied Epigenics, Exogen, Bioelectronics, and Juvent Medical. We have the board secretary, Chuck Schwerin. He's a smart gentleman, applied AI consulting, assistive technologies such as the Heart Partner, managing director of business services for Tompkins County Economic Development Agency, and is a certified business advisor for Small Business Development Center at Binghamton University. This is the wife of Ken McLeod, Susan McLeod. She's also a PhD, and she's the Series A shareholder at the board of directors. And and she is the largest shareholder in the Series A. And then your narrator, Bruce Badeau, is Strategic Advisors. I've done a whole bunch of different things: deal making, structuring expert, and a strategic advisor for other companies. I write a lot of models. We use those for structuring this company. And I had a lot of experience with writing business plans and doing a lot of organization for Volvo Construction Equipment Rents. I'm a graduate of the Lawrenceville School, UC Santa Barbara, with a degree in economics. And I've completed some extra courses at the Wharton School, University of Houston, and Rice University. Now let's continue. We have operational managers. You'll obviously see that there's some holes here which we referred to earlier. We have Glenn Hines as a proposed interim president. He has led successful negotiation, financing, and integration of due diligence for the acquisition of SME medical device companies over the past 15 years. He's served as CFO and VP, and his expertise in management areas of HR, IT, compliance, and M&A due diligence. We're still looking for Chief Financial Officer, even though I can do that temporarily, and we've got our eyes open for VP of Marketing Sales. Kyle Washington is a longtime friend of Ken's and is going to head up the Heart Partner store. That's the CMS Heart Partner store. Then Ken has another hat to wear. Of course, he is a chief scientist and head of R&D, so we didn't have all the room to place his numerous accomplishments, but there he is again. We still need a director of Medicare operations, somebody who's very, very proficient in dealing with the CMS. Dr. Eric Donor, he's a vascular specialist with experience in clinical medicine. He received his medical degree from Temple University and operates a group of 5 vein and skin centers in southern tier of New York. He is our chief medical officer. Then we have Cherie Conru, PhD in Regulatory and Compliance Office. He has expertise in dealing with the FDA because they are going to need to approve our device. So we did our projections, and this is the mid case. The key part of this is that we generate terrific gross profit margins of 73%, primarily because we have about $200 in the cost and $800 sales price. Our after-tax margins are equally large, and believe me, we've looked at adding expenses, and it's very hard to chew away at these margins. 10-year revenue at over $200 million, EBITDA over $80 million, after tax $64 million, and what I didn't show you is there's a whole bunch of cash sitting in the bank account after taxes. Now this is our 3-phase development timeline. Ken has already gone through a number of years and spent $5.5 million, of which he supplied $1.8 million out of his own pocket. And he got that money because he was successful in several other companies, and a couple of them went public, and naturally he got some shares and cashed in. Right now we're in this area of preparation. We're almost through with that. And right here is where we're going to raise the money, which is $4 million for the phase 2. We have to finish up the designs and get the manufacturing organized. We have good inroads with people that know how to do this work. We've got to get our marketing preparation going, which is software and setting up the systems. We have to get, and this is probably the most important part of all of it, because we can't do CMS until we have a 513F from the FDA. When we go through this to launch the product, we're going to sell, and sometime have an exit out in this area here, maybe 29, 30, 31. You can see by the pink that obviously we've got cash flow negative during this period of time, but it only takes about a year and a quarter to come into the positive cash flow, and then there we are. So what do we need $4 million for? Well, if we look at these numbers over here, this is the cost of retaining a design firm. We're going to prepare for mass manufacturing, select and build injection molds. We've got to do some prototypes. We're going to file that FDA 513F Class 2 application and go through the responses. CMS vendor accreditation process, that's already begun. Complete the CMS store, they've already got that. And in case we have to pay some commissions, there would be a maximum of $280,000 or 7% of $4 million. Total capitalized pre-launch timeline. These CapExes, which are depreciated or amortized, a little over $1 million. We also have in this model The expensed operational cost, that's a few people on salaries and repayment of some debt, etc., etc. Then we have net increase or decrease in cash. So this is actually the entire amount that we're spending. What we did is we simply turned off the investment, and we ran a lot of deficits so we could see just how much money we needed. And it turns out that at the beginning of the phase 3, we still have about $240,000 of cash as a cushion. The appendices are interesting because these are physiologic and clinical studies by the founder and collaborators. There's been a tremendous amount of work understanding blood flow and how to stimulate the nerves to get more blood flow. And we actually have four papers specific to cognitive impairment studies. And here's some more papers done on alternative market studies. That's it, folks. Thank you.